Welcome to our US Briefing Show. Today, we dive into the intriguing relationship between Silicon Valley and government support. Despite tech leaders like Elon Musk calling for less government involvement, history shows that the tech sector's success is deeply rooted in substantial government backing. From World War II scientific investments to modern-day policies, this partnership has been a key driver of innovation and economic growth in America. Next up, we explore the repercussions of President Trump's solar policies on the U.S. clean energy sector. A recent report warns that his administration's approach could push Chinese investments away from American shores, with firms now focusing on Southeast Asia and the Middle East instead. As tariffs rise, the U.S. might find itself lagging behind in the solar manufacturing race, with Chinese companies poised to dominate by 2030. Finally, we turn our attention to the upcoming U.S.-Russia talks in Saudi Arabia regarding a potential ceasefire in Ukraine. While both sides have differing proposals, there's cautious optimism for progress, especially in light of recent attacks that have heightened tensions. The discussions could be pivotal in shaping the future of the conflict and ensuring safe navigation for Ukrainian agricultural exports. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage. Foreign policy. In a striking reflection of the complex relationship between government and technology, the article emphasizes that Silicon Valley's rise is intricately linked to government support, particularly during pivotal moments in American history. The narrative begins with the contributions of Vannevar Bush during World War II, whose advocacy for government-funded scientific research laid the groundwork for the high-tech boom. It highlights the development of groundbreaking technologies like ENIAC, the first general-use computer, and the establishment of the National Science Foundation, which fueled advancements in non-medical science and engineering. The partnership between the government and private industry is portrayed as essential for the creation of the Internet, with DARPA's initiatives leading to the foundation of ARPANET, which ultimately evolved into the modern Internet. The article warns that undermining this partnership, as some tech leaders advocate, risks dismantling the very foundations that have propelled the U.S. economy to greatness. South China Morning Post. The article details the potential ramifications of President Trump's policies on the Chinese solar industry and, consequently, on the U.S. clean energy sector. It reveals that Chinese solar companies had plans to invest significantly in American manufacturing but are now reconsidering due to heightened tariffs and stalled incentives. Analysts warn that these policies could inadvertently benefit other regions, such as Southeast Asia and the Middle East, where Chinese firms are redirecting their investments. The report underscores the urgency for U.S. policymakers to recognize the broader implications of trade barriers, as they may lead to missed opportunities for domestic growth in renewable energy. As Chinese companies pivot towards markets with favorable conditions, the article paints a picture of a competitive landscape where the U.S. risks falling behind in the global clean energy race. Australian Broadcasting Corporation. In a critical moment for international diplomacy, U.S. and Russian officials are set to engage in talks in Saudi Arabia aimed at negotiating a partial ceasefire in Ukraine. The discussions come on the heels of a meeting between U.S. and Ukrainian delegates, with both sides presenting differing proposals for a temporary halt to hostilities. While U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff expresses optimism for progress, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov cautions that the negotiations will be challenging, indicating that many issues remain unresolved. The backdrop of ongoing drone attacks and civilian casualties adds urgency to the discussions, with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky calling for increased pressure on Russia. The article highlights the delicate balance of power and the complexities of achieving a lasting peace amidst continued conflict, underscoring the stakes involved for both nations and the broader international community. South China Morning Post highlights the importance of reviving the spirit of the Fulbright program in Hong Kong, which previously fostered cultural exchange between the U.S. and the city. The program, which provided funding for Hong Kongers to study in the U.S. and vice versa, was halted following political changes initiated by former President Trump in 2020. In light of the cessation, the author proposes redirecting existing funds to create a new exchange program named after Nobel laureate Charles Kao, emphasizing a broader focus that includes undergraduate education and cultural activities. This new initiative could enhance collaboration with prestigious institutions globally, particularly in mainland China and Europe, thus promoting intercultural understanding and academic growth. The Associated Press reports the passing of Mia Love, a significant figure in U.S. politics who made history as the first Black Republican woman elected to Congress. Love, who succumbed to brain cancer at the age of 49, left a legacy that began with her political career in local governance before she made her mark on the national stage. Despite her initial loss in the 2012 elections, she triumphed in 2014, breaking barriers in a predominantly white district. Love's political journey was marked by her cautious stance towards Donald Trump, especially during her re-election campaigns, where she attempted to distance herself from his controversial remarks. Her contributions to political discourse continued even after her electoral defeats, as she served as a commentator and educator. In another report from South China Morning Post, the race for 6G technology development is underscored, with China taking a lead over the US and Europe. As the world prepares for the next generation of wireless communications, 6G promises to merge digital and physical realities, enhancing capabilities in various sectors such as healthcare, urban planning, and transportation. With China establishing regulatory standards ahead of other nations, the report discusses the contrasting attitudes towards 6G, highlighting that while countries like China are optimistic, others in Europe and America are more cautious due to their lagging 5G deployments. The anticipated advancements in 6G include holographic communications and digital twins, which could revolutionize industries and everyday life, showcasing the transformative potential of this emerging technology. Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports that 3 European nations, Sweden, Norway, and the Netherlands, are seeking a refund from the Trump administration for a total of $15 million they contributed to USAID projects that have gone unspent. These funds were intended for the Water and Energy for Food, We4F, initiative aimed at helping farmers in low-income countries develop sustainable agricultural practices. The lack of response from USAID has left these allies frustrated, especially as they worry about the impact on the 6 million vulnerable farmers relying on the program. Julia Lindholm from Sweden's development agency emphasized the urgency of addressing this funding freeze, highlighting the significant benefits We4F could provide to food security in impoverished regions. South China Morning Post reveals that South Korea's Constitutional Court has reinstated Prime Minister Han Duck-soo as acting president after overturning his impeachment. Han's brief tenure as acting leader was cut short due to conflicts with the opposition-led parliament, particularly over the appointment of justices to the Constitutional Court. The court ruled that, while the impeachment motion was valid, there were insufficient grounds for it, as Han had not violated any laws regarding the controversial martial law declaration made by President Yoon Suk-yeol. Han, a seasoned politician with over 3 decades of experience, has navigated through a politically divided landscape, and his reinstatement comes at a time of heightened scrutiny regarding South Korea's governance and its relations with key allies amid recent political upheaval. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Turn the lights on screen. What's the latest scene? Just you and me, laugh and disagree. On the couch we sit, talk about the hits, news and bits, chat through all the fits. 6 degree chats, gotta talk about that. Blind crazy chat, share where we're at. From molecular change to the world's big stage, everything's fair game under our spotlight's flame. Grab a coffee quick, get your hot takes.